Imagine this, your child, your bright, beautiful child, is thriving. Their first words come quickly. They can feed themselves and they start walking confidently before their first birthday. So confidently, in fact, that within days, you now can't sit for 5 minutes without hearing a loud crash, followed by, "Uh-oh, mummy." Every milestone of theirs fills you with joy and hope for their future. But then, like a light going out, it starts to disappear. First, their eye contact goes. Next, their voice, gone. Meal times turn into battles. Food triggers choking, crying, or just silence. And then the unthinkable happens. Their legs stop working. The same child who used to run into your arms now can no longer stand up. It's like watching the soul of your child unplug one connection at a time while the world just keeps turning. You're screaming inside, but there's no pause button, no explanation. They're slipping away and no one can tell you why. As a mother, when my son Adam was 20 months old, everything he had learned, everything that made me so proud of him, began to vanish. I was terrified. I ran from one healthcare professional to the next, desperate for answers. But all I heard was, "It's autism. It's genetic. There's nothing you could have done." Scientists from Baylor College of Medicine discovered something heartbreaking. They studied 2,508 children with autism and found that more than 1 in 3 autistic children lose developmental skills they once had, usually between 12 and 36 months of age. These are children who were once walking, talking, playing, until one day they just weren't. And as a parent watching this happen, I was told it just happens. These words crushed me. I felt helpless, like I'd failed him. I laid awake each night, haunted by the same relentless questions. What happened? Why did this happen? Is this forever? Will I ever get my son back? But something inside of me refused to give up. So I stopped asking, what did I do wrong? And I started asking new questions. What if autism isn't just genetic? What if it's like a switch, something that can be triggered by the world around us? What if something in Adam's environment caused this switch to flip? And that's when I found something that changed everything. What I now call the autism switch. Things around a child that can help them to grow or hold them back. Now, think of autism symptoms like a dimmer switch, getting stronger or fading depending on what's around them. What if parents, teachers, and communities could learn to turn these switches up or down to help kids learn and grow? This talk isn't just about my journey with Adam. It's an idea about how we parents can create environments that unlock the potential of our children with autism. It's about recognizing autism as a dynamic condition shaped not only by genes, but by the world around us. Think of a child's development like a garden. Genes are the soil, care the sunlight, and water the diet. But hidden environmental weeds can creep in, choking progress unless we pour them out. These weeds represent hidden triggers in a child's environment, things that act as autism switches, either helping them to develop fully or making it harder for them to grow. The good news is that if we identify and address these switches, we can nurture this garden back to health. Or at least keep the weeds under control. And let's face it, parenting often feels like non-stop gardening. Except with toddlers instead of tomatoes. Toddlers, of course, are far more destructive. You try managing potty training and toddler tantrums at the same time. Autism switches come in many forms, but for this talk, I'll be focusing on the 3 most common environmental autism switches and how we as parents can work together to address them. Autism switch number 1, gut health. Meet Lucas. Lucas is a 10-year-old boy who struggled with poor focus, emotional meltdowns, and aggression. His parents were told he needs to transfer to a special needs school. Feeling desperate, his parents learned about the connection between gut health and autism symptoms. They removed gluten and casein from his diet and introduced fermented foods and omega-3s. Within weeks, Lucas was calmer, confident, and more focused. His teachers said he's a completely different child. Communities can help parents like Lucas's by educating them on gut health and making resources more accessible for every family. Autism switch number 2, environmental toxins. Now, let's talk about Ali. Ali was a miracle child. He was born premature, but by 11 months, he was speaking words, crawling, and making great eye contact. But when his parents moved into an older home with lead pipes, Ali regressed. He became mute, disengaged, and developed severe sensory issues and repetitive behaviours. When his parents discovered lead in their drinking water, they replaced the lead piping and added tap water filters. They supported his recovery through a dietary gut and liver detox, and slowly, Ali regained his speech, stopped the repetitive behaviours, and started sleeping through the night. So for Ali, toxins played a big part in his regression, but every child would have a different autism switch or autism switches. But from his story, we could learn that and ask the big question, how many more children like Ali are exposed to environmental toxins without their families ever knowing? So far, we've learned about how gut health and environmental toxins can disrupt a child's development. But there's one more key factor, a silent but powerful force that can affect how a child's brain and body function. Let's consider the impact of chronic stress. Autism switch number 3, chronic stress. The modern world has fundamentally changed how children are experiencing life. Today's toddlers spend an average of 25 hours a week on screens, eat 47% of their calories from ultra-high processed foods, and are sleeping significantly less than children did 100 years ago. I mean, if our ancestors saw how much time we all spend staring at screens, they'd think we were possessed. And let's face it, they might not be that far off. Toddlers turn into little demons when you say the words, "no more screen time." You know the scene, parents negotiating bites of lunch in exchange for another episode of Peppa Pig on the toddler's personal tablet. This chronic stress is keeping their nervous systems stuck in fight, flight, or freeze modes and preventing them from accessing the rest and repair state that they need to live in to be at their best. Gut health, environmental toxins, and chronic stress can all have a powerful impact on the severity of autism symptoms. But if we know this as parents, we can do something about it and help our children live healthier, happier lives. Autism prevalence has risen dramatically from 1 in 2,500 children 80 years ago to 1 in 36 children in the UK today. While much of this rise can be explained by an increased awareness of autism and better diagnostics, research shows that up to 50% of the factors contributing to autism rates are environmental. This isn't just a medical issue, it's a societal one, and that means we all have a role to play. My son Adam is now 6 years old. He's doing amazingly. He's no longer anxious in new environments, is confident to make new friends easily, sleeps through the night, and happily eats a balanced diet without any Peppa Pig bribing. Although I still hear her theme song in my nightmares. This transformation wasn't easy, but it was possible because we identified his autism switches and made the necessary changes. Now, imagine if you had the tools to identify your child's autism switches, to understand what helps them to grow and what holds them back. Imagine feeling like you actually knew what to do next, instead of feeling lost, blamed, or brushed off. This issue isn't just about systems. It's one parent flipping one switch and starting a ripple. One child, one change, one community at a time. It starts with you, the parent. Let's unlock the potential of every child with autism by taking responsibility for the environments we live in. Because if we can fix lead pipes, detox guts, and turn off Peppa Pig, what else can we achieve? Maybe even world peace. But for now, let's focus on creating healthier environments, one switch at a time. Thank you so much. Woo! Left out one sentence.